Apple Gift Card is a practical gift that unlocks a world of entertainment and fun. You can send it via email or give a physical card to your loved ones. Your friends and family can spend it on their favorite Apple services, including Apple subscriptions. Apple Gift Card can be used to buy all things Apple. Products, accessories, apps, games, movies, TV shows, iCloud Plus, and more. Visit apple.com for details and to send Apple Gift Cards to your friends and family this holiday season.
Okay, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. And in today's episode, so I'm overall going to be talking about my old job that I used to work at. I feel like, I don't think I did an episode like this before. I feel like I didn't. Because I'm overall going to be discussing everything that I possibly could of this place. From customers, employees, because there's a lot. If I feel like if I did, I'm just going to probably call this. I've done so many freaking podcast episodes. I honestly don't feel like scrolling through and trying to figure out if I did or not. Yeah, I'm like, I don't know. I'm not seeing anything. I'm going back on like freaking June, and I'm just like, it's just so much, man. Dang, why do I do so many episodes? I swear I need to chill out. I just recorded an episode before this, talking about what was I talking about? Oh yeah, shouting out the Rainbow Six Siege community and stuff. But anyways, no, what I wanted to talk about first off is people needs to stop posting sad dog videos on TikTok. Like I didn't even watch the full video, but you can tell like what kind of video it was, and it was this guy putting his dog down, and I'm like, why do people post stuff like that? Like, if I honestly would rather see one of these cringy kids doing their dances and stuff than to see some stuff like that. Like, I don't want to feel all depressed and sad seeing your last moments with your dog and stuff. I just don't understand videos like that, man. I really don't. Like, nobody looks up videos like that. Who looks up videos unless you're looking up, like, Marley and Me or something? That, honestly, after that movie, I'm pretty sure everybody in this world that has seen that movie does not want to see videos of dogs being put down. I'm sorry, but like I don't understand these videos when they're talking about like I don't know. I don't understand it. I really don't. It's sad videos like that. I'm like, nobody, you got to sit down and understand. You name one person that goes out of their way, searches up dogs being put down compilations on any platform, you are going to look crazy. You are going to look crazy. You go out in public, okay? You go out in public where people can look at the videos that you're watching, right? Like coffee shop, Starbucks, whatever. And you watch that video. You watch those videos and there's going to probably be people not paying attention, but there's going to be at least one person that sees the video that you're watching, and they're going to look at you like you're crazy and be like, why are they watching that? That's just so sad. Like, nobody, like, you're honestly going to look like a weirdo searching that stuff up. Like, I'm saying, like, there's just no such thing as people looking that stuff up. Like, it's so weird. But anyways, that's not what this is about. That is not what this is about. I've talked, but I'm just like, it's just dumb, man. I'm like, people need to stop posting those videos. I'm like, nobody doesn't feel like crying watching your dog being put down or any sort of animal. Like, if you talk about it, okay. But if you gotta like actually show the dog like looking at you all sad, I'm like, nobody wants to see stuff like that, man. I'm like, people, stop posting that. It's freaking sad and it's depressing. Nobody doesn't go on TikTok for sad and depressing videos. But anyways, what I overall wanted to talk about, my old job, my cafe job. I worked at this. Actually, you know what? Let me see if I can search it up this way. I don't know why freaking Google wants to be weird. Show, cafe, my experience at events, motivation eventing. That's not what I'm. Okay, job. Nope. I don't think I talked about it. I don't think I talked about or did an episode like this. I just searched it up on Google. Google can be acting weird sometimes, so it probably does exist, but Google just doesn't want it to be found. But anyways, but yeah, so this cafe job that I worked at for 4 years, This was my like first, I guess, official job, but my first job ever was YouTube, because I see it as this. I got my first check from YouTube. I made my first money off of YouTube. So in reality, YouTube's my first job ever. But in the real world, where YouTube is not seen as a job and all of that, this cafe that I worked at downtown Seattle was my first job. It was this cafe connected to Nordstrom's. They were like I don't know if Nordstrom's had overall bought my company, or not my company, but it was like the company that I worked for, the cafe that I worked for. But they were like, I guess like in partnership, or they had like some sort of connections with them. Because I know on my last day, or not my last day, but I remember when he was like the head manager. I think he was the district manager. And he contacted me and was all like, Nordstrom's can't keep our account anymore, so we overall had to make some cuts and things, and you got cut, my friend. So yeah, I got laid off. They called me. I think I was about to make me some YouTube videos, and called me and was all like, yeah, so yeah, some news for you. Take it however you want to take it and things. It was crazy because I wasn't like sad or upset or anything. Like, I guess I felt like, dang, that's crazy. But yeah, I wasn't upset that they laid me off. I was just like, well, guess I just got more time to really just go at it with YouTube and things. I honestly thought I was gonna go back, because that's why I was like, I need to like hurry up and do all the videos and all this stuff I need to do and things. But anyways, but yeah, so 2016 is when I started working for that place. They called me in for 2 interviews. I remember it was funny. I got lost for the second interview. I called my mom and my sister. I'm like, yo, where's this building again? Because I'm like, because they've been working in Seattle. They've been going to Seattle left and right. So they know Seattle better than I do. The only times I've honestly went to Seattle was to hang out with my sister. And like I said, she knows all the locations. So I'm just following behind her. What else? And then to the Torchlight Parade. So those are the only times I did go to Seattle. Oh, and then to the Key Arena and stuff for like events and things. But other than that, but like I said, I'm being guided by people that knows Seattle. I don't know Seattle at all. So anyways, so yeah, I'm sitting here, I'm like outside struggling. I'm like, yo, where's this building at? Because I straight up forgot. Yeah, you guys like walked me over here and things and showed me, but I forgot. Like, I don't know where this building is at and things. So and it was funny, as I'm calling them and telling them that, I am standing in front of the building that I'm supposed to be in. I went to the 2 because there was 3 locations in the area that I worked in. I worked at like the biggest, most I worked at the most busiest location, and the other 2 locations is slow and stuff. But I knew that those wasn't the locations that I was supposed to be at, because for one, there was a horse statue, and the one cafe that wasn't supposed to be at. So I'm like, yo, I don't remember no horse statue. I don't remember this at all. Plus they had revolving doors. So I'm like, this is definitely the wrong building. And then I went to another building and I'm like, this has to be like a different door or something, because I don't remember coming in from this side. I remember, so I'm like, the side I went in, it was like the left side, but this was like on like a right side of the building. Or actually, you know what, no, I was on, no, so the building that I was supposed to be at, their doors was on the right side. The one that I went to is on the left side and things. So anyways, but yeah, I was all like, I went there and I was just like, and I asked for the manager of the cafe that I was going to be working at. I'm like, do you know where he's at? And he's like, oh yeah, he's on the 10th floor. And that's why I went to the other wrong location. I'm like, I think you're lying. I think he's on the 2nd floor. Ain't no way he's that high up. What's he doing that high up? Then like, I don't remember that when I came here the other time. I don't remember going that high up and things. So anyways, but the funny thing about it though, there is like that with every person that has worked there. They have ended up at our locations by accident. They've ended up at the other locations by accident. There has been times where not customers, but people that want to work for us, they will be over at the other locations that I went to. I'm like, that's what I should have just did, and then just been like, go on one of those floors and just be like, yo, like, I'm here for an interview, but I got lost, so I came here. I assumed that this is the cafe that I'm going to be working for, the company that I'm going to be working for, and all of that. So, but yeah, there's been so many times people have asked me like, "Is this Because they was like, "Is this Bon Appetit Cafe?" I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." But they was just like, "I don't think this is the right floor." I'm like, "Wait, which building are you supposed to be in?" They was like, "I think I'm supposed to be in the building where it's like on the 10th or the flip floor." I'm like, "Oh yeah, yeah, you're definitely at the wrong building and stuff." So, but I'm like, "Nah, sit down. I'll call, let them know and things that you're over here and stuff." So yeah, that was like an ongoing problem with our cafe and stuff. So, but anyways, so yeah, they called. It was funny because in the first interview, I was sitting there just chilling and stuff. I was like, and I was nervous because I'm like every other. So it was funny because I had been in for like two other interviews like throughout my life. I remember one was Chipotle, and then the other ones was Macy's. And so it was funny because it was like right after so Chipotle, they didn't hire me because I didn't know about the company and stuff. I'm like, yo, I didn't come here to know about companies. I came here to do a job and to get paid. I don't do you know how many companies that we invest into every single day, but we don't know how the company like how they originated and stuff. We play Xbox every single day, but we don't know how that company originated. We buy Bounty paper towels, but we don't know how that company originated. We go on our phones every single day, but we don't know how those companies originated. Nobody knows and nobody cares. If they invest into anything, or they're like, if it's a job, then it's like, yeah, they came here to work. If it's like a freaking electronic, then they bought that electronic to use it and stuff. I can care less about how the company originated. I'm like, it's cool that it originated, and it's cool that it's giving me an opportunity to use their product or to work for them. So I'm like, Chipotle, I was like, that's some weird stuff, bro. I'm like, I ain't never heard of some stuff. You're not hiring a hard worker. And I'm like, and that's the thing though, because I'm like, at this job, at this cafe job, there were at days where I would come in early and I would leave late. So I was like, and then there was at times where I was like the only cashier working there and stuff. So I'm doing like a 3-person job. And then there was, yeah, I was like, I'm telling you, I'm like, Chipotle, y'all should have hired me. I'm saying y'all should have hired me. But no, it was funny though because no, actually it wasn't funny. It was a pretty serious situation. But it was like not too long after that, after the Chipotle interview, then like a bunch of places was like closing down and they were laying off workers because of this like it was like some like the people was getting sick from their food and stuff. So yeah, it was like some stuff like that. But anyways, so yeah, and then for Macy's, I didn't get the job at Macy's too. I think it was more so why I didn't get the job at Macy's because I was nervous. I was very, very nervous when I went in for that interview. I was scared because I'm like, yo, what's gonna happen? Like they called me into like some like that in the room that they interviewed me in. I'm like, yo, am I gonna get killed? Like what kind of room? They put me off. They had me off in some like small like closet room. You would have never thought that room would exist. But I'm telling you, next time you go into Macy's, just walk around that place. If you see like a hidden door, just know that it's like a small closet space, but they managed to fit like a desk and computers and all that. I'm like, bro, who this? I'm like, bro, I ain't never been like claustrophobic in my life, but I'm like, I definitely would have been in a room like that. I'm like, yo, this is a prison. This is a jail cell. I'm like, what is this? But anyways, but no, I was like really nervous for the Macy's interview, so I didn't end up getting the job there. But then this job, the cafe job, Bon Appetit. So so the first interview went pretty well. It was funny because they asked me. They was like there was a catering woman that worked there. She was like probably the coolest person to work with. I don't feel comfortable saying her name, but I'm pretty sure anybody that had worked for me from like worked with me, not like for me, worked with me from 2016 to I think she left that very next year. I think she left like that very next year or something, like at the end of 2017. Yeah, yeah, yeah. She left like that very next year and stuff. But if you guys worked with me from 2016 to 2017, then you most likely know like the catering worker that I work with. She was super cool. She was super super cool. So anyways, but yeah, I remember she came up to me and she was all like, "Do you want any water or some food or something?" I'm like, "No, no, I'm fine." Because I was still nervous. So I'm like, if I'm nervous, I'm like, I can't eat, I can't do nothing. I just gotta sit here and think of my game plan. All right. So I'm like, yo, you guys gonna have to chill on asking me all these questions. Y'all throwing me off track and stuff. But no, but anyways, and then it was funny. So there is a cashier there. This cashier, it was funny because I'm like, that was like the one and only time I had to say that we had like a good well, actually, no, there was another time we had like a good interaction and stuff, but after that we just kind of had like an ongoing beef with each other and stuff. So but she came up to me and she gave me some popcorn and water and stuff, so I'm like, it's a weird combo. I don't usually eat this, but I'm like, yeah, usually I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I'm like, but then it was crazy. I'm like, they had the only time, because I remember when I started working there, I was like, I was always looking for popcorn. The only time they had popcorn was during like a catering event. So I'm like, man, that's when y'all got. I thought this was like an ongoing thing. I'm like, man, what kind of mess is this? I'm like, nah, I don't want to be here no more. But nah. So anyways. So they gave me some popcorn and water. I just felt like it was like a weird combo. I'm like, I don't want them to think like I asked for this, and then they looking at me like I'm weird and stuff. Cause I don't know. I feel like that's just like a combo that just doesn't go. I got like, if I'm gonna be having some popcorn, I gotta have like a icy with it and be sitting off up in the dark room watching a movie or something. But anyways, so then the coolest manager ever, he comes out. That was like one guy where I'm like, if like when the day comes where I'm like making like if I'm making like David Dobrik money from YouTube. I remember he told me like his dream car was a BMW, but I honestly forgot what BMW it was. So I do have it planned for this manager. I plan on buying him a BMW i8. Like when the day comes where I'm making like a fat check from YouTube and things, like I'm like making like tens of millions of dollars a year and stuff. Oh yeah, I'm like, cause I think so. I'm like, I wouldn't necessarily say it's been stalking, but I have been asking about him to check up on him and stuff, because I'm like, yo, like, where is he at? They were like, California. Okay, I'm gonna definitely do some like CSI investigation, find out where he's at, and yeah, just surprise him with a BMW and things. But anyways, but no, he was a pretty cool dude. He was like definitely the coolest. That was like, cause there was at one point where the supervisor, at the time she had surgery, so it was literally just me and him. Cause then I'm gonna get to like all the like crazy coworkers and everything. Cause I'm telling you, this job was like seriously the craziest roller coaster I've ever had to like deal with and stuff. So anyway, and it was like the first like ever like job that I ever worked at and stuff. So I'm like, yo, this is this is crazy, man. I'm like, I swear I'm being punked. I'm like, somebody's straight up pranking me with this job, because I'm like, ain't no way possible this job is that crazy. But anyways, so I ended up getting hired, and because they called me in for a second interview. It wasn't even really a interview. They were more so like showing me around and stuff. And so, they had me like fill out some stuff and sign some things, and then I had to get a food handling card. Because you would think like, oh, okay, you're a cashier, like, you ain't going to be handling food. Like, no, you are going to. There was at times where I was helping the cooks like prep up for breakfast or help them with lunch stuff. And then there was at times where I'm like, during lunch, I'm like filling up like because we had like a salad bar. And there was at times I'm like filling up like lettuces, tomatoes, like a bunch of other like salad toppings and things. And so there was at times I was doing that. And then I know I'll never forget. I think that was like the one day where a car just feels like they gotta just be so loud. And I'm like, bro, it's nobody cares that your car is loud. It's freaking everybody's quarantined. Nobody cares. But anyways, but yeah, so this day I'll never forget this day, because that was the one day I think I worked so hard. So we were short staffed. It was me, and then it was the new supervisor. He's like I feel weird like referring to him like as a coworker or my supervisor, because he's like my actual friend. Like, this is somebody. He's another person where I'm all like, bro, you're set when I make it on YouTube and things. But anyways, but yeah, so it was just me and him. It was just me and one of my friends that worked there and stuff. And then the cooks and the chefs, they were short staffed. So there were some cooks that wasn't showing up. Then there were some cooks that was coming in from other locations, but they had to do their thing first. So so I feel like, because he's like, he's my anybody that. Well, see, that's the thing, because I was mainly friends with everybody there. But I don't know, I just feel weird like referring to them as their names. But I'm like, with him though, because he's a public figure. I've talked about him before. I'm pretty sure you guys have remembered me talking about a band called Monitor. So the bass player in that band, Jack, he was my supervisor, but he's a good friend of mine. So anyways, so Jack, he was like in the office like doing some things. And so we were like, there was for the longest, and I had complained about that so many times. There was at times where I sat there, and I think like the new managers, they can see in my face that I was angry, because I'm like, how long has it been? Like how it was like months. It was like I think it was like 5+ months before they hired a new cashier. And I'm like, yo, can we hire somebody? And then that's when they ended up hiring the second. She's another good friend of mine. We're gonna call her well, yeah, her name is, I don't know why I'm like, I say we're gonna call her, like everybody calls her Melissa. That's her actual name. But anyways, they ended up hiring a good friend of mine's, Melissa. And I'm like, cool. But then she only worked there for like a year. So I'm like, dang, when they, I'm like, look, we ain't gonna have this problem where it's like y'all gonna take forever to hire somebody and things. So they ended up hiring another good. It's funny because I talked about this cashier before too. I'm gonna get to that situation later on. But anyways, so yeah, there was like this one like extremely difficult day where I had because yeah, I think we were also out of a dishwasher at that, so we were out of a lot of like people that were supposed to be there and things. So I had to. It was Wednesday. I remember because it was Wednesday. It was burrito day. So I had to roll up some burritos. I had to clean dishes. Then I had to work on the cash registers. Then I had to like obviously like go around, clean up the place, stock up shelves and stuff. That's going on for the whole day. Then like we're ringing up like 500 plus people every single day and things. So we're dealing with a mass amount of people that's coming through there and things. We're barely getting any help. And then towards the end of the day, I'm like sitting here cleaning up a bunch of different places, or well, in the cafe and stuff, but cleaning up a bunch of different things. And then I gotta count the cash register, then make sure everything is straight and set and stuff before the managers come back next morning. They're like, hey, this wasn't done, there's a spec here. And I'm like, man, come on, bro. Like, dang. I'm like, we're short staffed. Like, okay, like everybody just chill out. Dang, I'll get to it. But anyways, but yeah, I was all like, dang, bro. That job, there are so many days where I was just like, I just immediately crashed on the bus. Crashed. I just was all like, I'm just like, man, I am tired. Like, that's why I was like, bro, I was hoping and praying for that week off so I can make me some videos. I was like, if I gotta stay up and record like 100 videos, I'm seriously gonna do it. Cause I'm like, yo, I gotta take a break from this place. But, it's like somebody left a comment on one of my YouTube videos. But anyways, but yeah, I was like, bro, I am tired. Like, I'm like, I need this like vacation. And then that's what I was about to say. I never took like any vacation days. I never really, there would be, the only time I think I would take like any vacation days is when I would be like traveling with my family. But honestly, if it was like, I think if I was like living on my own, because I'm currently living with family and stuff. But if I was living on my own, I definitely would have just been going there. I think there is like maybe one sick day. There was one day where I actually was sick, but then there was other days where I just felt like there's like maybe a couple of days where I took off and was just like, yo, I'm tired. When you work at a place 4 years nonstop, you don't even get a summer vacation. Like, you're gonna get tired, okay? So that's why I'm like, take some days off, relax a little bit. I feel like if I would have definitely taken some days off, I probably wouldn't have been like as overwhelmed with that job as I was and stuff. So yeah, that's one thing I feel like you should do. Take some days off to just, gather up your thoughts and just relax a little bit. But that was another thing you really couldn't when you're like short staffed left and right. So then there'd be at times when I'm at home and I know that we're short staffed and I'm like, dang, man, I feel so bad because I'm like, yo, it's like, and then especially when it was like snowing outside, I'm like, look, I got nothing but like Jordans, like, yeah, just freaking basketball sneaker shoes. I'm like, you really think that I'm equipped for walking in basketball sneaker shoes? I'm like, yeah, I was like, and I think I ended up buying me some like Tim's one day, but I was just all like, bro, I don't feel like walking out in no snow. And then I'm like, you still gonna slip and fall? Like, Tim's is good for snow. They're not good for ice. Ice is slippery. I'm going to slip, fall, and I'm like, I'm not trying to do all of that outside. So anyways, but yeah, there was at times where I did stay home and I did kind of feel bad because I'm like, dang, man. I'm like, all right, like even there was a day where I remember I was like really sick and we were like, I think at the time what were you short staffed? Well, we did have like one cashier that was like, she wouldn't like show up or wait, actually, no, was she working with us at that time? I can't remember. Honestly, we've been through so many cashiers at that place that I don't even remember who was working. All I remember is that I worked there from 2016 to this year. Jack worked there from 2017 to this year. Melissa, she worked from 2019 to the end of 2019. And then the last cashier, Megan, she worked from Yeah, pretty much the beginning of this year all the way up until the end of the year. So she wasn't even there for that. Well, she did work at another account and stuff, so that there was that. Because I think she came from Oregon, and so yeah, there we go. I'm remembering everything's now, but anyways, but yeah, there was we went through. I'm telling you, there is at times where cashiers they would like go in and just work for like maybe a couple of days. I think for okay, so maybe I'm like exaggerating a little bit. They will work there for a little bit and then will be gone. There's like one there's I remember there was he wasn't a cashier. I think he was supposed to be the dishwasher or the cook or somebody. He literally worked there for like 7 hours and was gone. Like it wasn't even I don't even think it was a full day. Like that dude was gone. Like he wasn't even I think yeah, he was gone. I think he was a dishwasher, but yeah, he worked there for like literally just the day and then just a regular work day and then he was gone and we had to hire another dishwasher. So there is at times I'm telling you, I don't think those guys I think those guys knew, but I don't know. They probably like never came out and like said it to me and things. But I loved washing I love washing the dishes. The only thing that I didn't love about it was that you had to stay there until like 5, 6 o'clock. So I'm like, yo, if I was able to like leave at like maybe like 4 o'clock tops. 4 o'clock, I'm like, okay, I would be cool with leaving at like 4 o'clock. But there is at times I remember I was talking to some of the cashiers. I think it was the one guy that was working there. He told me there was a time where he left at like 7. I'm like, bro, those are Wheel of Fortune hours. I'm like, no, I'm not staying here to no 7 o'clock. I'm like, that's not happening. I'm like, I would seriously postpone washing the dishes and I would come back tomorrow. I'm like, cause that was the thing. So this was like me. This is how I would show up early. I show up like super early. I'll show up like an hour before I'm supposed to clock in, right? And then that was like every single day. I think there was like one time where I did like show up late, and it was like, but there's like other times where I would like come close to being late. I remember I was as soon as because I was running. I remember as soon as I got off the bus, I ran. I couldn't even get my Starbucks sandwich or my protein shakes. I literally ran because I was supposed to be there. When I very first started, I was supposed to be there at like 7, but then they changed it. I remember then they changed it to 9, and then they changed it to 8. And yeah, I was still like leaving the house at like 5 something. So I was just sitting there just chilling. But I still showed up because I was like, yo, there might be times like where a cashier wouldn't show up or somebody wouldn't show up. So I'm like, hey, I'm here as a backup plan. If you guys need help, just let me know what you need help with, cool and stuff. So I'm like, yeah, that was the main reason why I showed up early, because I'm like, you never know when these guys is gonna need help and stuff, because there had been times there, because no, I think I remember that, so it was like the first like year I was working there were at times where there was the supervisor at the time, she would come up to me like as I'm sitting down waiting to like clock in, she was like, so such and such ain't showing up today, and I need you to clock in right now, because there is one cashier. I'm telling you right now, that was literally the craziest thing. I remember it made the manager that hired me. I remember it made him so upset that she had did that. But anyways, so we had this one cashier that worked with us. I don't know. I felt like so I won't say her name because I'm like I would have to. Yeah, we wasn't really friends. I would talk to her and stuff. We would crack some jokes and things, but she was kind of weird. I'm like, I don't know about you because you're gonna mess around and try to get me caught up in something. So I'm like, a little while. I've heard some stories about this particular cashier, and let's just say that I definitely did not hang out with her outside of work. She had invited me to hang out with her, but I definitely would lie and be like, see, because the baby mom, she gotta work tonight, so I gotta take care of the kids and stuff. She was like, oh, how many kids you got? I'm like, I got about 715,000. I'm like, but I would lie. If there was any time she asked me to hang out, I'm like, nah, I gotta go home. I gotta do some things. I'm pretty busy and stuff. Or I'll just flat out be like, nah, I'm cool. I'm like, I don't do that type of stuff. I'm like, I'm a good Christian child. So, but anyways, so this cashier is wild. But there was a day where she didn't show up because she had to take her kid to school. Now, let me just tell you guys, talking outside of this job that I worked at, let's go back in time, back to when I was in school. My parents were able to drop me off at school and go to work. And guess what? They was never late. I remember my mom, she would have to, this was like when I was a little kid. My mom would take me to school in West Seattle. Like, and that's like some distance away from like downtown Seattle and stuff. So she would take me from to West Seattle, and then she would have to go to downtown Seattle, like kind of like downtown Seattle and things. I ain't gonna get into detail where my mom worked at and stuff, but yeah, she had to go some distance. So I'm thinking, if my mom, she was doing that from when I was in preschool, because I had went, there's this one elementary school called Gatewood Elementary. I went to that school from when I was like maybe 3-4 years old all the way up until I was 9. So I was there for some time. All right. And I remember my mom every single day, there is a like, and I'm telling you, never missed a day and things, unless there was like a day that she taken off and things, then then, yeah, she took the day off, I took the day off, because I'm like, I highly doubt you're going to go take your kid all the way up, because we lived in Kent. So we lived in Kent, Washington. She took me to school all the way in West Seattle and stuff, because the school out there was better and things. But it was but yeah, she did that, and I was just all like, yo, I'm like, but yeah, she would, there was no way possible she was gonna like take me to school and then come back home and stuff. So, but overall, like she took me to school and then she went to work. So pretty much the point that I'm trying to make: what school does your kid go to where you gotta miss the whole day? And I'm like, and then on top of that, I know people was all like, oh, well, it was probably like first day of school. It was like November. What school you go to where school starts in November? You get an extended summer vacation. You get an extra month off. No, like, no. You get an extra 2 months off. All right, September and October. So I'm like, what school you go to where school starts in November? You gotta take, and I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, bro, does your kid go to school in like freaking New York City or something? You gotta take like a private jet. If you can afford a private jet back and forth to take your kid to school, I'm like, you don't even need to be working at this cafe. Did you hit like the lotto and you got like a $700 million check or something? And you just like, oh no, my kid every single day, he's just gonna take a private jet to school and stuff. I'm like, what is your kid? He ain't getting homeschooled? Like, what? Like, I'm like, that doesn't even make any sense to me. So, anyways, but that man, I'm telling you, that made my manager upset. He was, bro, I'm like, there is at times like when he was super chill with me though, because I was like, I'm just like, I don't get on anybody's bad side. I try not to like cross anybody at my job, from the coworkers to the customers. I tried my hardest to like not get on anybody's bad side. And that's what I'm talking about, a particular cashier that I worked with. I feel like, though, that we definitely did get off on the wrong foot. Like, if I could go back and, like, redo it all over again, because that's the thing, like, I'm not holding any grudges towards her. I'm not angry with her. I'm not mad. Like, that was years ago when that had happened. It's crazy to think that it was years ago, but it was, like, it was a long time ago that had happened. But it was when I very first started. And I was like, this is like my first ever like cafe job. I never worked in a cafe job or did anything cafe related prior before. So I was clueless to everything from the cashier, because our cashier, it was like a button based cashier. So if a person wanted to get like a soda, so there was a button for the soda and you had to press it. Then if they had like a salad or some deli foods, then they had to like weigh it on a scale, and then you were like, oh, large box to go or a large plate to go or whatever they put their foods on and stuff. So I was clueless to everything. I was clueless to all of that. I'm like, bro, how come we ain't got no scanners? I'm like, yo, it's like a new day and age right now, but saying we should have some scanners for this stuff, but maybe the salad foods, I'm like, oh, okay, I can understand that, but no. So anyways, I'm me being clueless, not knowing what to do and things. I'm like, okay, where's this button? What does this do? How I do this? I'm like, what I gotta do here and stuff. And I guess that was making her upset. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Cause I'm like, I wasn't trying to like. I don't even. That's the thing. I feel like people need to know about me. If I don't know you, I'm not going to, pretty much like how you're treating me, that's how I'm gonna treat you. So if you're quiet with me, I'm gonna be quiet with you. So I don't know. Maybe she I'm a quiet person already and stuff. So I'm like shy. I don't really talk to people. I didn't really start talking to people after a year of working there and stuff. So that's what I'm like, yeah, I was a pretty quiet person and things. I just did my job and left. So anyways, but I don't think that was the reason. I think it was just me being clueless and not knowing what to do and stuff. Cause yeah, I'm like, we're working at a cafe where we're like ringing up like hundreds of people at a time and stuff. So I'm like, okay, we're trying to do that. They remember stuff, and then there's times I gotta go fill up. I'm like running all back and forth around this cafe and things. Like definitely like the last like few days before quarantine, oh yeah, I had the whole thing down. I might have like slipped up like a few times, but I definitely had everything down. So anyways, but when I started working there, yeah, I was clueless. I didn't know what I was doing and stuff. So and that was the thing. I dealt with people like that. Like when working there, they would come there and I would just like, ask them like, oh hey, have you ever worked at a job like this before? And they would just be like, "Oh no." So I would be cool, calm. I would be calm, cool, collected with them. I'm like, I'm not gonna be angry with them. I'm not gonna like, be mad at them because they don't know what to do and things. Like everybody is like that. Everybody is like that when you start at a place for the first time. So I'm pretty sure she was like that when she started at some place for the first time. So anyways, so yeah, I guess that was getting on her. Or I guess that was getting on her nerves and stuff. That I was clueless. I didn't know what to do because there was at times like where I would mess up and would have to refund the money back, and I get confused. I'm like, yo, how I do all this? I'm like, what am I doing? I look over at her, and so I'm like, yo, I just need help. Like, so anyways, then I remember there was one day she yelled at me. Girl straight up yelled at me. I was like, because I messed up on the cash register. So I didn't like know that at the time, but it was like afterwards, it was just like I just always made sure to tell people like, hey, so like if you're the only cashier out here, just like tell one of the cooks or the chefs like, hey, can you go grab like Tyler or Jack or somebody real quick and help me and stuff. So yeah, and that's and I was like being cool with it. So there was a day where I messed up, and I'm like, I told the customer like, oh, let me go grab somebody real quick because I was out there by myself. So I'm like, that's the thing, though. I'm like, they should have known, like, okay, he's bound to mess up. This dude is messing up every other day of the week. He's bound to mess up, and we back here doing whatever and things. And so, anyways, I'm getting ready to go back there. I open up the door and stuff, and I'm like halfway walking to the office. Not even halfway. I'm like maybe like some distance away from the office, like 25%. Like, let's say I'm at like a 25% mark away from the office and things. And all of a sudden, I just hear, go back out there. You're not supposed to be back here. I'm like, yo, like, chill, fam. Like, I just need help. Like, y'all are back here, like, what y'all doing? Like, y'all know I'm out here by myself. Like, come out here and monitor me, help me and stuff. So, anyways, so yeah, first week working there, I was stressed out. I was stressed out from her. And then I know that the supervisor, she was cool. Don't get me wrong. The supervisor was pretty chill. But she was also getting on me. So I felt like I was being attacked. And that wasn't the case. It was just me, them just trying to like tell me things, and it was just a miscommunication. Overall, that's what it was and stuff. It was just a miscommunication and things. But there were at times where me and the supervisor, we did bump heads and stuff. But I'm gonna get to her because she was cool. Like, don't get me wrong. But anyways, so this cashier, it was like after the first week of working there, I remember somebody had asked me on YouTube, like, how was it and things, or how is your, because I did talk about it. I was just like, yo, if I'm gone for a little bit, or if I'm like the uploading like stops, or it's like not a whole lot of videos and things, just know that I just started working at this job. So yeah, there you go. So anyways, somebody had asked me like how is your job and things. I'm like, it's cool and stuff, but I'm just dealing with this freaking cashier. So I did talk a little crap about her on the YouTube video. She seen it, and then it was funny because they ended up bringing it up, and I'm all like, how did she find? I was like, I asked the one chef. And I asked him, I'm like, how did she find out about it? He was like, well, you were going around telling everybody you're a YouTuber. And I'm like, dang, I was doing that. I'm like, all right, so I messed up there. But I guess if she ever does hear this, I apologize. I truly do apologize. Like I said, I just feel like it was like a miscommunication. We were just like in two different like parts of the world and stuff when it came to this cafe and things. She was more advanced than I was, so yeah, I'm like, I overall didn't know what to do. I was clueless. All right, so anyways, but yeah, she seen that. After that, like, it was a wrap. Like, it was, she hated me and stuff. And then I was confused because I'm like, yo, what happened? Like, what's going on? And so I think we got into it one day. And then the supervisor, she called me in the back, and she was just all like, she was just like, I know what's going on between you and the other cashier. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. And so I straight up was playing like the freaking criminal off up in the interrogation room and stuff. So she was just like, I know what's going on. I know. She was like, I know what you said about such and such. I'm like, I ain't saying anything about her. So I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, you made like a YouTube video and you said something about her and things. I'm like, I ain't made no YouTube video. So I was like, deny everything. That's what you're supposed to do. Deny everything. So she was like, well, regardless of whatever it is, she was like, you got to be the bigger person and just let things go. I'm like, I'm willing to let things go, but I'm like, I'm not going to be tolerating no attitudes and all that stuff towards me and things. So I'm saying, I'm like, like, I'm out here trying to work and stuff, and then she's getting mad at every little thing I do. Because I think that's what it was. So somebody had came up. It was this customer. He came up and said that I'm having a croissant. Now, maybe he did say he was having a croissant sandwich, because there's a difference. A croissant, if you just buy a croissant, it's $2.53. And if you buy a croissant sandwich, it's $5.78. How I still know that? I don't know. I guess when you just press them buttons so many times, like that stuff's gonna be embedded in your head for a while. So I heard croissant, and I charged him for a croissant. And then she's behind me. I think she was like putting some stuff away, and she was like, sandwich. He said croissant sandwich. I'm like, I'm positive he said croissant. I'm like, why else would I press the croissant button? I heard croissant. I pressed croissant. So that's what I charged him for, a croissant. So we up there arguing. Supervisor comes out. She takes me to the back. And then that's when we had like our whole discussion and things about me being a bigger person and stuff. So at that point, I just let the situation alone and stuff. And I thought there was one day I thought we were like starting to be cool and stuff, because I remember she went to a Beyonce concert. And she was like, she was talking to me about it and stuff. And so I was like, oh, okay, maybe this is like the start to something. Like, maybe we're going to be cool and stuff. And no, it wasn't. It was, I think she came to the realization, like, wait a minute, he's the enemy. I'm not going to befriend him. And then, yeah, she ended up leaving. And so then that's when the one cashier, she came in, the one that got to travel to New York City to take her kid to school and stuff. Then that's when she came in. And then her and the super soul. At that point, I was like, I was like getting used to everything, because I'm like, okay, like we're down the cashier, so I'm like, like let me like step up, take some responsibilities and things, and actually kill it and stuff. And so, anyways, so yeah, then they hired this other cashier, the one that got to take her kid to school in freaking Africa and stuff. So they hire her on. And then her and the supervisor, it seemed like at first like they were like, starting to be cool and things. And I thought they were too. But then I think, yeah, it wasn't even a miscommunication. Like, no, this cashier just didn't want to listen to nobody. Like, she seriously didn't. The supervisor, for those that don't know, a supervisor is above a cashier. So if a supervisor tells you to do something, just do it. Like, I'm saying, like, follow that Nike slogan, just do it. Because there have been numerous times she came up to me and told me, like, hey, can you put these drinks away? Can you put these boxes away? I'm like, yeah, sure, no problem and stuff. I might throw in a joke here and there. I'm like, no, I ain't going to do it. I'm like, I'm going to stand here, but then, but we're joking. We're playing around and stuff. And so, anyways, but yeah, she was like, overall, anytime she came up to me and told me to do something, I would do it. At first, though, I remember there was a time when me and her, we did get in an argument. This is like when I very first started and stuff. We did get into an argument, and she said, Tali, can you go restock the salad bar? So I did, and she was like, it ain't restocked enough. I'm like, yeah, it is. I just filled up a bunch of stuff. It's restocked enough for me and things. And so, yeah, I'm telling you, you can ask anybody that was working with me when I very first started there. I was a hard head. I wasn't listening so well. I'm out here thinking I'm like this like ruthless death row member being signed by Suge Knight, and I'm just Tyler Jamal Moss, just working in the middle of Seattle and stuff. So I'm like, I don't know what was getting into me and things when I very first started working there and stuff. But yeah, but I was all like, I know people would ask like, well, was the salad filled enough? I thought it was, but according to her, it had to be like overflowing. And we're not overflowing, but it had to be like seen at the top and stuff. So anyways, I think I was feeling it, like, I wasn't feeling it all the way to the top, but I did put, like, enough in there and things, and so, anyways, but yeah, I remember she got on me about that. But no, after that, though, me and the supervisor, we were cool. We were, like, talking to each other about, like, our personal lives. She was telling me about things. I remember one of the first crazy stories she told me was that some kids broke her window with a football. I'm like, dang. I'm like, you ain't like roundhouse those kids. Like you got to do something about that. And so yeah, she was telling me about like her personal life. I was telling yeah, I'm telling me about my personal. I was telling her about my personal life, and we ended up becoming friends and stuff. That'd be another person I help out definitely. When like YouTube and all of that stuff takes off. But anyways, but yeah, so with this new cashier, so the supervisor would tell her to do something, and she'd just be like, no, I'm doing something else right now. And I'm like looking at her, I'm like, yeah, you can't do that. I'm like, I know better than anybody. Nah, you just gotta listen. And so the thing was is that, well, actually, no, there was like a 10-year age difference, because I think the cashier, she was like 40 something, and then the supervisor was like 30 something. But the supervisor, she definitely had like way more experience and all that stuff than her. The cashier was like literally just wiping down counters and tables and stuff. So I'm like, yo, like all that stuff is wiped down. Like we gonna need some help with some stuff and things. So anyways, but yeah, then she was like, wasn't like, it wasn't even a thing where it's like she would sit down and talk with her and be like, hey, you gotta listen and stuff. She wouldn't. Like with me, it was like she sat down and explained things and talked to me, and I'm like, yeah, I guess you're right and stuff. So at that point, I was like, me and the supervisor was in the clear, but when it came to her, she was like, no, I don't gotta listen to you for nothing. She was just like, I'm doing this. She was like, I don't know. I think because the supervisor definitely had more experience, but I think the cashier, the other woman, the one that her kid was like going to school in like Paris or something. I think she had worked there longer. I think that was the case. So she figured like, oh, I'm more superior than everybody because I've been working here longer. So that's why I don't gotta listen to anybody. I'm like, nah, that's not how that works. I'm like, you are a cashier, that's a supervisor. You gotta listen and stuff. So, anyways, then there was a day I remember. So there's a day the supervisor had to leave for surgery, and I'll never forget her last day when she left for surgery. She and the cashier, they got into this screaming match, and I'm like, yo, if they get into a fight, because the supervisor, she's a black woman. I'm like, so I would imagine that anybody knows you do not cross a black woman, but the cashier, she was a Hispanic woman. You don't cross a Hispanic woman. So I'm like, if they get the swinging, I'm like, I'm just gonna scream. I'm gonna call for like somebody in the back and be like, hey, like I need help. Like somebody help me with this. Like I don't know what to do. Like I've been panicking. I'm like, yo, I had panicked because I'm like, you don't get in the mix of that. That's a war zone right there. So, anyways. They on the supervisor's last day, she ended up getting into this big screaming match. So then the supervisor left. She was gone for a little bit because she had to have this surgery and stuff. So the manager they hired me on. He was like, "You're in charge now." So he was like, "So if this cashier, if she tries to tell you to do anything, don't listen to her. You tell her that you're in charge and you tell her what to do." So I'm like, man, I got power. I'm like, dang, I don't even know what to do right now. So. And that was the thing, though. I'm not that type of person. I don't be telling people what to do. I usually, if I notice something, I'll do it myself. If there was any time, though, where there was, like, something that needed to be cleaned up, or if something was, like, I'll tell somebody, because if I seen it, I'm like, okay, I was the first one to see it, so I got to, like, clean it up and things. So let's say, for an example, somebody dropped, like, a glass bottle, or they waste something on the floor and things. I'll see it and be like, hey, can you stand up here for a little bit while I go clean this up? That's how I work. That's honestly how I work. And I feel like that's how, I don't know, I feel like that's overall how you become cool with people and stuff. Like, that's what I do. I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to be out there, I'm like, hey, you, over there, clean that. I'm like, that's just not me. I don't do that. So, but anyways, so yeah, there were at times where she would come up to me and be all like, oh, can you do this and things? I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm busy right now. And I think there was a day where she asked me to do something, and I'm like, I'm not doing that. Like, I'm really busy with some stuff right now. And she kept, like, asking me to do it. I'm like, I'm not doing it. So I'm like, move on from this and things. And she went in the back, because some, like, cooks came up to me and was all like, yo, why is such and such crying? I'm like, what? I'm like, what do you mean she's crying? And so they're all like, she's back there in the office, like, crying right now. So I'm like, man, I'm not apologizing. I'm like, that's why I came. That's why I went back to the hard-headed me that started off working there, and I just showed no respect and no sympathy for anybody. So I think I had looked, and I like looked in the office. I didn't see her in there or anything, because I did made sure I was like distant. I'd like so there was so for those that work there. So the push door. I went at the push door. I looked and I was like, I couldn't see her. Maybe she was sitting on the other end of the office. But I'm like, no, I'm not doing this. I went right back out there and I continued on working and things. And so she ended up getting switched to a different cafe. And then they had hired a couple of people to work there with me. And then the supervisor came back, but then she ended up leaving because she ended up finding another job. And so that was the one thing, though. I'm like, bro, I had worked there for so long that everybody from managers to cooks to chefs to cashiers, dishwasher, I was like the original, like I wouldn't say the original, but I pretty much was the original person like working there and stuff because everybody else was new. It was just nothing but new faces by the time I had left it, or by the time like this COVID-19 and all that stuff started. But yeah, I was like the longest working person that was there. The only other longest person that was working there, because everybody at all of the different locations, a bunch of people had like the like people that was working there longer than me, they had all left. I have to say the only person that wasn't that didn't leave was the manager, and he was like the only one, but I think he started like a couple of months before I did. So so it was like, but he was like the only like other person that was working there longer than me. But other than that, at all three locations, I was the newest, or I was the oldest face that was working there and stuff. And I was like, man, that's crazy. That was seriously the craziest thing ever. Like to like see that, and people was telling me that, and I'm like, dang, I guess I am. I'm like, yeah, because I've been working here longer than everybody else. Guys, yeah, Jack, he started like the very next year, and then everybody else like kind of just showed up after him and stuff. So yeah, he definitely seen a lot of new faces and stuff. I definitely seen a lot of new faces. Faces that was there for a long time, faces that was there for maybe like 2 minutes, faces that was there for like 2 seconds and stuff. But yeah, it was a cool place though. It was a cool place. Definitely though, the last few days I had worked there, it was definitely weird. It was weird going in there and stuff. That was one thing that I was so mad about. So I'm pretty sure everybody remember when I made a video talking about those self-lacing shoes that I bought. So Jack, I told him that, because the weather, it was raining like crazy and stuff around like the time when I had got those shoes. So I told him, I'm like, yo, like when everything gets back to normal, I'm gonna wear these shoes because it's gonna most likely probably be like when it's all sunny in the summertime. Here it is, this is summertime. I don't even have a job at this place no more. But I'm like, no, when stuff gets back to normal, I'm definitely wearing those shoes. I gotta say, he has to see me wearing those shoes because Jack, he knew of my sneaker addiction and stuff. So anyways, I'm like waiting to go back, but it ended up getting to a point where he was working a few days out of the week. The one cashier, Megan, she was working a few days. Oh yeah, no, so I completely forgot to tell the one story about Megan. So I'm like, oh, hold on for a second. Before I get into the last few days of me working for Bon Appetit, let me tell you guys the history between me and Megan. So, it all started in 27, was it 2016 or was it 2017? It was when I started getting into sneakers. I didn't know what I was getting myself into, but I was a fan of like Adidas shoes when I started getting into sneakers and stuff. So I think if you check back on some of my older sneaker videos, I was talking about Adidas a lot. So anyways, there was a guy that worked at the mall. He worked for GameStops and he worked for Champs. And we were like constantly we were talking about video games and shoes. That's all that we talked about. That was like this crazy how it's like people that you're cool with and you only talk about like one thing and stuff. So that's how it was for me and him. And he ended up getting me into so many different shoes and all that stuff. So I ended up knowing about like a lot of like a different Adidas shoes. And then I ended up just taking it pretty much just like finding out about shoes myself and things, learning about Jordans, Nike shoes and all of that. So it was him. I would have to say I give him the credit into getting me into sneakers and stuff. But he ended up leaving. He ended up quitting the GameStops and Champ store, and he wasn't there anymore. So I remember I had asked the one dude that had worked there with them. I was like, "Yo, what happened with them and stuff?" And he was like, "Oh, he ran off with my cousin, and they done went to Oregon and stuff." And I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't really need to hear you rant or anything," because he was like full on ranting about it. I'm like, yeah, I just came up here to just just to see where he's at and things, and to possibly look at some shoes. But yeah, he ended up. So the guy that got me in the shoes ended up leaving. So fast forward to the beginning of this year, or maybe the end of last year. It was at some point in time. Bon Appetit hired Megan. So Megan was cool right off the bat. Megan was a cool person to work with. Constantly cracking jokes, constantly laughing. We were having a good time there. So then I think she had added me on Facebook. And she had photos up of her ex. And so I seen it. I'm looking at the photos. I'm like, nah. That ain't the guy. That's not the guy. I'm like, that's no way that's him. And so anyways, and it's crazy because the guy, he ended up, so I think he got her the job because they were like, even though they were ex, I think they were like still cool with each other and stuff. And so he was working for Nordstrom's, and then he ended up getting her a job at the cafe and things. And so because at the location that he worked at, they were looking for a cashier and stuff. And so he contacted her. She ended up switching from Oregon to here to live, I think, back with her family and stuff. And so because I think she was, I can't remember what she overall was doing out in Oregon. I can't remember if she was going, I think she might have had to been going to school or something out in Oregon. But anyways, regardless, so I'm like straight up looking at the photos. And I'm like, nah, that's not. I'm not trying to like say, nah, I'm like, but it was a photo that was already up and seen. It was like the first thing that you see when you go to her profile. I wasn't like scrolling through all her photos and stuff. I wasn't doing no catfish stuff, all right? So I'm like, I knew who she was and all of that. So, but anyways, I seen the photo of him and I clicked on it and I'm like, that's not him. I'm like, that is not him. So I was all like, oh, I can't wait to go back to work. Because at that point, it clicked in my head. You know those like people in Inside Out? They were in my head. They were like they were typing up a bunch of things, looking back in old footages. And they were just so like comparing the two faces. And they were like, they look just alike. There's a good 99% chance that is the same person. So the Inside Out people in my head, they were doing some deep investigating. We came to the conclusion that is that guy. So I went to work. And you shouldn't really be asking people about their personal lives, especially if they just started working there and stuff. But we were already cool and stuff. So I'm like, but I feel like it takes some time to like ask a person about their personal life. But I'm like, I don't care. I'm like, all that stuff is all out the window. I need to figure this out. So I go up to her and I'm like, did your ex used to work in Federal Way? She was like, yeah. I'm like, did he used to work in the mall in Federal Way? She was like, yeah. I'm like, did he work at the GameStops and the Champs in Federal Way? She said yes. And I was like, remember when Channing Tatum, when he finally put it together that Jonah Hill was sleeping with Ice Cube's daughter? That's how exactly his reaction to that whole situation. That was me. That was me early morning. Jack, it's funny because Jack, he reminds me of Jim Halper from The Office. He'll always Jack will always be making facial expressions. So I'm like, he's looking at me and things. I'm getting all hyped and stuff. But I'm like, cause she told me that, her ex worked at Nordstrom's. And so I didn't think too much of it and things. But I'm all like, I am friends with your ex. I'm like, that is some wild stuff. He's the reason why I know so much about shoes. I'm like, that is some crazy stuff, man. That is some serious crazy stuff. So yeah, I was like, at that point, I'm like, yo, that's crazy how and she did, yeah, that was the cousin. I know people are like, wait a minute, she was the cousin that, yes, she was the cousin. But they didn't cause she ended up telling me they were, cause I think the cousin that was ranting about them at the Champ store, he introduced them. And so, yeah, they ended up becoming cool with each other and started dating and things. And so I'm like, bro, what did you expect? Like, if you introduce a male and a female and they are attracted to each other, that's usually something happens. Like, they ain't gonna just remain friends. Like, I mean, what did you expect, bro? So, but yeah, I was all like, that was wild. That was seriously the wildest thing ever. I'm like, that's just crazy how the circle of life just that was like a circle I was not expecting to be a part of and stuff. But yeah, I was like, that's crazy. That was seriously the craziest thing ever. But anyways, but yeah, then oh yeah, then talking about the last few days I was working there. So they ended up Jack and Megan, so they have more responsibilities than me, so I definitely was all like, okay, like, you guys take I mean, like, it's up to you guys, like, what y'all want to do. But I think Jack, he was the one that came up with it. He was all like, so yeah, we take the majority of the days, and Tyler, you could just work like one day out of the week. So I'm like, all right, I'm cool with that. Like, I ain't tripping off of anything. So I'm like, more time to do YouTube stuff. So yeah, because those guys, they definitely they knew also that I do YouTube stuff. So yeah, they was just like, cool, like, you chilling, we chilling. So everybody was chilling. But I was the one, I worked there on the very, it's crazy because I was like one of the longest running people. So me and the manager, me and him, we were like the longest people that was there, and we ended up being like some of the last few people that was there, because there are some other people that they had hired on that was new, but me and him, we were like the oldest persons like to start there, and then the oldest people that leave there and stuff. So yeah, I was like, I found that crazy too. But anyways, but yeah, last day I had worked there, I took a picture of one of the last few days I had worked there, because I had worked maybe like 2 more days there and stuff before like COVID really started taking over, and a lot of people was getting scared and staying home and stuff. So, because every other day, I remember like prior before that, yeah, we were ringing up a lot of people. It was just like a regular day and stuff. So the last couple of days I worked there, we like ended up doing a crazy deep cleaning of the place. And then when we did like that deep cleaning, then that I remember I think I ended up leaving to go home early, because it was like, okay, well, it doesn't need to be 2 people here and stuff. So I ended up leaving and going home early. And then the last day I had worked there, there was no other cashiers besides me. And I think I literally only rang up like maybe 5 to like 20 people. I did not ring up a lot of people the last day I had worked there. So, anyways, so I was there, but then also I was dealing with some personal issues. So, I don't think those guys know this, but I was kind of like down and depressed and things, and was just all like, I don't even want to be here and stuff. I'm like, I seriously don't. I'm like, I just want to be home, laid up in the bed watching YouTube videos and stuff. I'm like, man, I swear I'm so happy I wasn't the person I was in the beginning of quarantine. I'm like, I do not want to go back down that road again. Never again in my life, because I was like, yo, I am freaking, that is draining. It is seriously the most draining thing ever. But anyways, so I was like checking and seeing some videos that's done uploading on the YouTube. But anyways, so last day I was there, it was literally just me walking around. There is at one point I was standing just like Will Smith at the end of the last episode of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, when he was standing in the mansion. There is at one point where I was looking just like him, except I was in a work uniform. But yeah, I was just looking around. I'm like, dang, man, this place is empty. I'm like, yo, what is going on right now? So cracked a couple of jokes with some co-workers and things, and then after that I headed home. I was just all like, I mean, no, like, that was, and then that was the very last day I had worked there. They said that most, because no, they was so they was like handing out letters saying that we got furloughed. And so I was all like, dang, man, that's crazy. So they was like, yeah, you're going to probably get like maybe 1 or 2 more paychecks, and then that's it. So I'm all like, dang, all right. Well, I mean, guess I'll see you guys when everything gets back to normal. Little did I know this stuff is going to be lasting until March and things. And so, anyways, and then, yeah, so then at that point, like, we all thought we were going to come back and stuff. Because what they said that this stuff, so that started in March. They said this stuff was supposed to clear up in April. April comes around, it didn't clear up. I think the head manager, the district manager, he called me, and told me like, hey, like, so you was laid off. Like everybody, actually, he didn't say. He said everybody was laid off. So he said like, yeah, there's like, nobody's not gonna be showing up or being there and things. So overall, just had to yeah, it's like it's there ain't no because I think they had to let go of the account of working like or being with Nordstrom's and stuff. So he told me like he was like good luck with YouTube. Or he was like, good luck with your gaming. He was like, good luck with your gaming. He didn't realize I did like multiple like YouTube related stuff. But he was all like, good luck with your gaming career. I hope it takes off. And then at that point, that was like the last time. I still like, because I follow, so I'm friends with some of the people that I worked with. And then also I'm like friends with some of the customers that came through there and things. And then there's some other customers. I'm like, bro, I am so happy. That was like one reason why I couldn't like really sweat it and couldn't really be upset, because I'm like, there were customers that was there, and I'm like, I am so glad I ain't got to see those guys every day now. Man, I am happy. I'm like, seriously, I was like, bro, I am going to kill it with YouTube. I'm making sure I ain't got to never step foot back into that place again. So yeah, I was that place, man. That place, it was like, it was cool, but then there was some days where it was like stressful. If I had to say, it was a good place to, I guess, work at, but then there are some days where I'm all like, you know what? I should just leave right now. I'm like, there's some things that happen where I'm like, I should just leave right now. Definitely, I wanted to leave when I was dealing with that one cashier when I very first started working there. And then there's like other incidents with managers and co-workers and customers. I'm like, you know what? I should just leave this place right now. I'm like, I should just straight up just tell these guys like, I'm done. I'm out of here, because that's why I told the one manager, because me and her, we were pretty well, we're cool and stuff. That's yeah, because I follow her on social media. And so I told her, I was all like, look, I got this fur hoodie and I got this black jacket. I'm going to wear some black sweats. I'm going to wear some like colorful Jordans. I'm going to seriously come through here on a hoverboard, crash into a bunch of stuff, say that I quit, and then just leave. Just walk up out of there. We were like laughing and joking about it and stuff. I'm like, no, I'm dead serious. I got a whole outfit planned out for when I leave this place. And I was like, and I seriously did. I had this like this like gray fur hoodie. I'm like, yeah, I was hoping that like YouTube took off in like the winter time and stuff. So then I'm like, okay, because it's hoodie season. Because I'm like, I'm not trying to have it be like 90 something degrees outside. And then I'm like wearing this like all this gear and stuff. So, and I was all like, and then I was like, okay, then I got to get some sunglasses. I got to get them like flip sunglasses where you flip the shades up and then you look everybody in the eye. I'm like, I'm out of here. Flip them back down, then you just leave. That was how I was gonna quit that place too. But no, like in reality, I literally was just gonna probably just have like some going away party and things, and then just go home and just record a bunch of YouTube videos and stuff. But anyways, yeah, and I think the last thing I said when I was leaving there, I was talking to the one cook that was working there. His name was Nate. And Nate, he looked at me. He was all like, I guess I'll see you when I see you. I'm all like, yeah, man, I'll see you later. And then that was like that. He was literally the last person I had talked to when I was when I was working there and stuff. So yeah, man, it was crazy. It was very crazy. Then like going home and stuff, like the buses was empty, freaking. Then after that, then it was like it just seemed like every place just started closing down and shutting down and things. I'm like, wow. This is some wild stuff. Like, I wasn't taking it as serious as when it all started, but then I think it was like April, May came around, and I was just like, yeah, I think this is pretty serious. I'm like, this ain't normal. This is definitely a serious matter and stuff. So, but anyways, yeah, I think I mainly talked about everything. I haven't done an hour-long episode in a long time. Like, this has been the first time in a while since I did like some hour-long episode and stuff, but anyways, I will talk to you. I honestly thought this was going to probably go on for like 15, 30 minutes. I added more minutes to it and stuff. But anyways, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. If you're viewing this on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe. And if you're viewing this on the podcast streaming service, make sure you follow or subscribe, however it's set up. And if you are purchasing tickets from SeatGeek, make sure you use my promo code TMossBoss. It will knock $20 off your first purchase. And if you are purchasing anything off of Vicilo, make sure you guys use my coupon code TMossBoss and to use my referral link. I have an ad up on my YouTube channel, TMossBoss, and they'll take you guys to the referral link and all that stuff. So, anyways, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening, and peace.